Hello everyone. So yesterday Soul got released on Disney Plus. This is a movie made by Pixar Animation Studios, and it was one of my most anticipated movies that was going to come out this year. It got delayed a little bit, but now it got released for free on Disney Plus, of course, if you have the subscription. So this stars Jamie Foxx and Tina Fey. It's about an hour and 45 minutes long. Without further ado, here is my review for Disney Pixar's Soul. So Soul follows main character Joe Gardner, who is portrayed by Jamie Foxx. He is a jazz musician who, fallen on some tough times, he teaches to junior high school students, basically junior high band, and he doesn't want to be in a position at all. He wants to move on with his life and basically tour and become one of the greatest and the greatest jazz musician ever. He wants the world to be inspired by his music the way jazz music inspired him to be one with the world. But he feels such a disconnect between the people he lives with, the world, and just basically all he wants to live for is his music and his passion. And things start to go his way, but unfortunately he has an accident where he falls down a manhole, and that's where the soul aspect of this movie comes in, where he basically gets the journey through the afterlife. There is images of the great beyond, but at the first little bit it scares him. He doesn't want to go to the great beyond because it almost looks like a big fly swatter. It makes a funny joke out of it, and so he jumps back down to a place where souls are learning to become human and go down to earth, and they're being trained by mentors, who Joe Gardner basically becomes one since he escaped death in a sense. And he meets a young soul 22 who's been down there for a long time and hasn't found a mentor and just doesn't want to start her own life. She wants to be a soul, like a new early soul, forever. And in order to get back to his body, basically Joe has to complete this training for 22 as a way to get back down to his body on earth. So throughout the film it does bounce a lot in between life on earth and life as a soul. And right off the bat, the animation is absolutely stunning and beautiful, whether they're in the real world or the world as souls. There's a lot of color in the world as souls. It's pretty beautiful, and that translates perfectly when you're in the real world. And the one thing I want to say too is the animation of the hair on the humans is so lifelike and real, and this is easily Pixar's best animation work ever. It's so fluid, so colorful, so beautiful, and they did just an amazing job animating these characters. And like I said, I was stunned looking at every single frame, every single little detail, the entirety of the movie. There's a lot of really good humor in this movie too, especially I want to say in the first half an hour of the film. There's really good jokes with how new souls are trained to learn, and basically too just how people navigate their way through the world and learn new things add to their soul, their personalities, and how all of those are developed. So there's really good jokes that a lot of adults are going to understand and love a lot, find a lot of relatability in, and it's just really funny in that sense. And of course too, there's a lot of humor for kids, but none of it's clean. It's all humor that's adults can enjoy, whether they be targeted for adults or for the kids. And I appreciate when movies do that. Pixar is masters of doing that, and that translates really well into this film too. I did really like the relationship between Joe and 22, mostly when they were in like the world of the souls, when they go into the zone, which is a state where people really like truly let out their passion in life, whether this be an artist who gets into the song that they're playing really well, a snowboarder who's just in the moments and the trick that they're doing, like little things like that. I loved seeing that on screen, and I thought it was really cool, and they did a really good job showing the emotions of people and people getting into their passions. I did feel like a lot of it was left out, that there were some things left explored that this movie could have gone bigger on, but for what they did with the movie and explaining human emotion and passions and all of that, it was really entertaining, relatable, and it was funny, some of the things that they were able to do with it. But yeah, my favorite moments between Joe and 22 were in this state. When they get back down on Earth, I found it was just a lot of arguing between the two characters, and it was a little tough to relate to one of them because they're just bouncing off each other. 22 wants to take Joe's body, little things like that. That's just kind of slowed down the movie a little bit for me. It's strayed away from what it's meant to be human, to be a soul, to have these passions. And it wasn't anything movie breaking for me, but it just really slowed down and took away from the concept of souls, the afterlife, in the beginning of life even too, which I wasn't quite expecting. Took away from that for me a little bit, and it just felt like there was so much more that they could have done with that I was enjoying a little more than just trying to get back to Joe's body. The message of this movie, there's several, but it's very beautiful what the movie goes for, and it leaves for an open ending by the end of it. Some of it's left for interpretation. I do wish we got to see a little more of where 22 ends up at the end of this movie. I'm just trying to make this not as spoilery as I possibly can, but it is left pretty ambiguous, and I wish there was more of like a clean-cut ending, but at the same time, that's kind of life. We all have our emotional responses to what's going to be on the screen, and I think that's what they're going for here, where they wanted us to kind of create our own relationship with the characters, all these souls, life on Earth, pursuing our passions, or letting them kind of just fade away from us because we have other duties that are more responsible that even could be your passions that you haven't realized yet. So like I said, there's a lot open to interpretation from every single viewer who watches this, and every single viewer is going to have a different experience with what we were given with it. And I do think that's kind of beautiful, like I said, with the larger message of be you, be proud of what you are, and always explore and find your passions. It's a very good message that's even too, like me interpreting that from the movie could be interpreted very, very differently from one another, and they did a good job putting that in place of the movie. And then again, like I said, at the same time, I felt like there could have been a lot more touched on about what it truly is to be a soul and learn and create your passions, and not just have it be programmed by, in the movie they're called Jerry's, who are kind of programming people to be working products in the real world. There's really good commentary on that, to be honest, and Joe gives them insights, which I thought was very beautiful and just really good message about humanity and self. Like I said, visually, this movie's absolutely stunning. The music in this film, all very jazz inspired, and it's so good. And I loved just being able to feel all the passion that Joe and every other human in this movie felt when they were in the zone or just talking about their passions, what they love about the Earth, what they don't like about the Earth. It's very relatable in that way, and there's something for absolutely everyone in this film. And yeah, the soundtrack's absolutely unbelievable. Like I said, the hair animation just blows me away, but everything in this movie looked absolutely beautiful. And with all of this taken together, I'm going to give Soul a 7 out of 10. This is a very good movie that, I mean, it's around the holidays this releases, that kids and adults are going to enjoy, like, no matter the age. There's a lot of lessons here. I felt like there could have been a little more touched upon in kind of those life lessons. This movie never really hit as hard as I wanted it to, or I felt like it could sometimes, but it does trigger a lot of emotional responses in me that I was able to relate to a lot and have a lot of fun with, and even reflect on myself and my own experiences in this world. And same thing too with all my passions in this movie, and yeah, they just touched upon that very well. So please let me know what all of you thought about Disney Pixar's Soul in the comments down below, and if you like this video, of course, you can give it a thumbs up. I will link in the top here all of my 2020 movie reviews and some of my other playlists that you can check out. And if you like what you see on my channel, of course, you can subscribe and turn the little ringer on if you want to know when I upload new videos. But yeah, definitely check out Soul on Disney Plus. It is streaming right now. So yeah, go do that. Awesome, guys.